I don't think these people have said a single goddamn word about anything that has to do with sports, the Olympics, any of this. I think the last time they were talking about sports, they were talking about Colin Kaepernick and kneeling and like they need to stand for the flag. And now they're super upset about this athlete named Simone Biles. Now, again, I don't know that much about Simone Biles because I'm not paying attention to sports, but apparently she has already won gold medals at previous Olympics. She's world renowned, considered one of the greatest of all time for the gymnastics routine stuff that she does. She is very good at what she does. Incredible, trains really hard. Did you see that Joe Rogan had a reason? Yes, I did see Joe Rogan had a better response to this. But here's the thing: is why might Joe Rogan have a better response where people like Charlie Kirk, and all the other assholes on the right wing not have a good response? Because Joe Rogan does sports stuff with the UFC and can understand what it means. So to finish my point about Simone Biles, she decided not to compete because she was already doing really poorly because she was suffering what she described as a mental health crisis of some kind. And it was taking her out of the game and could cost the competition to her teammates in one of the other routines. And so when Charlie is speaking here, it's just because she dropped out of the team one, so he's going to reference the team stuff. But she ended up dropping out as well in all her individual runs as well. And I mean, there's a discussion to be had here about mental health and the fact that this athlete is. I mean, the response on a lot of the right clearly comes from a place of people who don't think or don't care about mental illness all that much. And maybe it's a really good thing for someone in a position like Simone Biles, a really brave, courageous thing, but also an important thing to signal to the rest of society that, hey, sometimes it's okay to take a mental health break. And I think that's pretty reasonable. Wolf Clothing just said, or whenever they talk about Don Cherry. Yes. I mean, but it's the same thing. Why do they talk about Don Cherry? Because Don Cherry's a bigot and he's being removed from the sporting community because of his bigotry. You mean to tell me Barbara Kay is not a current Olympian? Not yet. She's still got time. She can make it.
Force her into the
Yeah.
Olympics.
Oh my
You've
god.
been drafted, Barb.
It would be amazing just watching like her in like a track and field event and everyone just fucking goes and then her just
There's it was like a tweet or something where it's like they need to include just like average person in every Olympic event so that you like understand how good these people really are.
yeah.
Make that Barbara Kay for everything.
Oh my god, that'll be amazing. Barbara Kay doing shot put. I just
Yeah.
imagine it now in all of it. High jump with Barbara or what's the pole vaulter with Barbara Kay? uh Dan says also like in Biles Field, if you're distracted and you make a mistake because you're not all there, you get hurt at best and become paralyzed at worst. There was, I don't remember her name. Maybe one of you do. There was one athlete who, uh, in a previous year, participated and sprained one of her ankles and continued with the competition. I think she actually won the gold medal, but because she pushed herself to that limit, she couldn't compete that long afterwards because she basically busted up her ankle. Uh,
Yeah.
so there's a reason to go, hey, I know my limit. I'm not doing good here. I'm not going to risk injury because I want some future career in this. And you know, it takes a lot of forethought and a lot of like intelligence to be self-aware like that, right? Like that is a super just intuitive sense and very very good that she had that sense. Carrie Strug was the name of the person. Yes. But let's listen to Charlie Kirk have a meltdown.
So Simone Biles, I don't know her politics. I don't. I just know that she's, shown on television a lot. I don't know if she was ever sexually
I
assaulted
was
or
gonna
abused.
say
So
she's
I
black.
don't know.
Yes, I just realized as well that I forgot that he brings this up. So he mentions I don't know if she's been sexually assaulted. She was one of the athletes who was caught up in the. There was this one coach in the American Olympic team who sexually assaulted a lot of women, and it was covered up. And I think she was a victim in that as well. So for him to like bring this up and be like, "Oh, I don't know if she was a victim of sexual assault or whatever," is again them downplaying that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because they're gross.
So Simone Biles, I don't know her politics. I don't. I just know that she's, shown on television a lot. I don't know if she was ever sexually assaulted or abused. So I don't know what she's been through. I seriously, I mean that sincerely. However, I'm going to say this. Don't show up to the Olympics and compete if you're not ready for the big moments. This is not high school. This is not college. This is the Olympics. It's bigger than yourself, Simone.
Like, and it was Larry Nassar. Yeah, he was the gym coach that did a bunch of this. And it's likely that her mental health thing right now has nothing to do with that, which it's kind of fucked up that he would even bring that up. But even if it was to do with that, fuck it, like, yeah, take the time you need. Like, fuck you, Charlie Kirk. But then also, it's like, as if Simone doesn't know about teams and about all this stuff. Like, who's the Olympic medal winner? Who has gold in almost all of these events? Who's like, as if she doesn't fucking know this. Who are you, Charlie Kirk? Who the fuck are you?
Charlie Kirk is someone who threw out his back standing up.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, everyone's been showing that too. I guess he does advertisements for Fox News for like a medication, and in the promos, he's throwing a football, and he's been like, "When I was younger, I threw my back out and like couldn't walk for days."
So
where I would say to that, "What the fuck, Charlie? Your back was out and you decided not to participate? Why are you so selfish? You're a selfish sociopath, Charlie, for not putting your team ahead of the fact that your back was sore. You should have destroyed your back for your team, Charlie. How fucking dare you, you sociopath." That's a little bit of foreshadowing, I guess.
Simone Biles, who's obviously a very talented gymnast, decided not to compete in the gold medal competition. Now, she probably could have just competed and just kind of checked the boxes and they would have got a gold medal.
Apparently, he's even wrong on this front. Her performances so far in that competition were like hurting her team, and it's possible that if she performed with them, the team would have done worse and they wouldn't even have gotten the medal that they got. So he's even wrong on that front.
Simone Biles says, "This Olympic Games, I wanted to be for myself when I came in, and I felt like I was still doing it for other people," as she cried after the team event on Tuesday. So it like hurts my heart because doing what I love has been kind of taken away from me to please other people. Yeah, that's the point, Simone Biles. You're representing your nation, you're selfish sociopath. You kidding me? Today it's like, you know what? I'm not going to do something stupid and get hurt. It's just not worth it. Especially when you have like three amazing athletes that can step up to the plate and do it. So you know who has the gold medal? Russia.
So we'll get into its stupid nationalism in a second. But like, notice as well, like how she's framing this. It's not like she's saying, because the first thing he quotes there could be construed as a kind of selfishness. Is like, I wanted it to be for me, and people are putting pressure on me. But the pressure she's describing is the pressure to like be forced to compete, such that she might injure herself. And now that's putting extra pressure on her, and so it's like she wants to step back, which is a perfectly reasonable thing to reflect on and not want to force yourself to get in. He does. What is this? From the newsletter, Black people had failed to integrate in America since being taken from the jungles of Africa. Oh my God, was this? Oh, this is from this.
This is from Kirk's advisor's newsletter. Yeah.
Turning Point USA advisor runs shockingly racist newsletter. This is recent too. Holy shit. Why have I not heard of this? An advisor for the pro-Trump student group Turning Point USA has been unmasked as the publisher of a shockingly racist newsletter. According to Talking Point's memo, Rip McIntosh recently published a deeply racist essay for subscribers to his personal newsletter that declared American Black culture has evolved into an unfixable and crime-ridden mess, and that Black people had failed to integrate in America since being taken from the jungles of Africa. Jesus Christ.
I mean, I'm shocked that Rip Macintosh would be capable of such horrific writings.
The other, like, this is common with Turning Points USA stuff. Like, it was out. I want to say this is a 2-year-old story. They basically take anyone from these college campuses that they can get, and they don't vet them. So there was like videos of like white nationalist members who were also members of Turning Point USA. There was like a video that was released of them laying in bed with money and just saying the N word and saying a whole bunch of racist shit. So this is a common theme with Turning Points USA. So I wonder why Charlie Kirk is so incensed about a black athlete and their mental health. But now we're gonna get some like weird nationalist aspect of this.
Russia. I have to go look at these 4'11" Russian Olympians chewing on their gold medals, smirking at the Americans. I'm not okay with that. But honestly, that's where we're headed.
What the fuck? What does their height matter?
I know the Americans are also 4 foot. Gymnasts are small.
Yeah, like
They're all small.
they're gymnasts. They're little.
Yeah, like I don't know what that comment was about, but then also it's like, who the fuck cares who wins? It's an Olympic competition. Like, does like America not winning that competition means America sucks? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is such a weird angle. I don't know how anyone can feel this way about sports. Nationalists are weird. I don't get nationalism. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
We are raising a generation of weak people like Simone Biles. Again, if you want to be, if she got all these mental health problems, don't show up.
I want to say as well, like I think you have to like sign up for the Olympics like long beforehand, and there's like qualifying stuff and like all this magical stuff. So it's not like at what point in the procedure will Charlie Kirk be okay with you being like, nope, gone too far for my ability and mental health, I'm going to step out. Well, Charlie could put on a leotard and do a floor exercise if he's so upset. We need Charlie to run next to Barbara Kay in all the events. I want to see a Charlie v. Barbara Kay Olympic. That's what I want.
She's an incredible athlete. Of course she's an incredible athlete. I'm not saying, I just said she's probably the greatest gymnast of all time. She's also very selfish. She's immature. And she is a shame to the country. She's totally a sociopath. Of course she's a sociopath.
What?
She's not a sociopath. What kind of...
Yeah, she's a shame to the country.
You've just admitted that she is the greatest gymnast of all time. But she's also a shame to the country? Like, what the fuck?
And a sociopath. He says sociopath so many times. Yeah, for deciding that like I mentally can't do this right now, which is like I mean it's ignorant what he's doing to this particular individual, and it's probably racist. There's probably some deep-seated racism here, as what Dan gave us, and all the history of Turning Points USA and all that fun stuff. But there's probably also an element of just like mental health shaming about just like fuck it, fuck your mental health. Like, you're a terrible human being for realizing that you can't do this
kind of person skips the gold medal match? Who does that? It's a shame to the nation. You just gave a gift to the Russians. Don't show up. If you're not ready for the big time, we got thousands of young female gymnasts that would love to take the place. Thousands. Simone Biles just showed the rest of the nation that when things get tough, you shatter into a million pieces. You know what? There's a lot of times that you step up to the plate, even though you don't want to do it, even though that it's against everything in your body. But instead, Simone Biles just broke one of the great American values and virtues, courage and bravery. It was all about herself. She's a disgrace.
There you have it. Russians won gold. America got. That's the thing. America got silver without her performing, and likely would have gotten worse if she did perform. Like, and why does it matter? Who cares if another country wins? Why does that matter to you, Charlie Kirk? So racist. Donald Trump gave lots of gifts to Russia. Just saying. I mean, that's the other irony of it. Is like, yeah, Trump was involved in scandals with Russia. And yet now we have a Biden administration, and all of a sudden Russia's gone back to being the bad guy for these conservatives. They didn't seem to care when Trump was president. I do have to say, though, I approve. This is on Charlie Kirk's channel, and I do have to say, I approve this is a 50-50 like to dislike ratio. So that's interesting. With more dislikes than likes. So,
Wow.
there you go. I love some of these comments, too. A dropout calling someone a quitter is pretty funny. I forgot about that. He dropped out of college. Yeah. No, this is, that's funny. That's funny. Well, fuck him. I mean, like, this is the thing. As I said, the reason why I cover these stories is because, again, whenever the right wing wants to talk about sports, it's always a racist segment and against black women. That's it. Well, or black men. Always. Always. Because they're bigots. And we
Yeah.
are going
The
to.
only chance that it's not going to be like very explicitly racist is if it's just transphobic.
Right.
Like,
I forgot about the transphobia. That's the other one.
those are the only options. And obviously, they often interlap.
Yep.
Overlap. Words.
Hello, my rebels. Hello, my rebels. I'm a good boy. I'm a weirdo.